All right, we welcome you to historic Dahlonega, Georgia, here at Lincoln Trail Park today at the UNG soccer field, where today it's a pivotal matchup for the University of North Georgia as they will be taking on the 1-1 Anderson Trojans, and North Georgia currently sitting at a 2-3 record. It's going to be a good one today for sure. As we welcome you up to the broadcast booth, Devin Kupka, joined alongside TJ Campbell for the first time. TJ, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to watch some North Georgia soccer. It feels like the team has really made some momentum going forward, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, it is going to be a good one indeed here from Dahlonega. It's a hot day. Summer's starting to wind down in the middle of September. So we're ready to get this one kicked off. And game number 6 is underway. So this one's going to be kicked far to the right side, and it's going to be headed up in the air. As we battle across some of the players, it's going to land out of bounds and going to be a throw-in for Anderson. This one's going to be tossed in right around midfield. And there's going to be a whistle called. As we're going to take a look at today's starting lineups. Let's start up with Anderson University first. Number 1, Franco Antoniolo Fuentes. Number 2, Jamie Round. Number 4, Mariano Carpena. Number 5, Tiago Perez. Number 6, William Thompson. Number 11, Julian Caro Sepul Veda. Paul Ilis. Number 18, Elon Munez. Number 19, Juan Jose Alvarez. Number 20, Ivan Cardona. And number 25, Lucas Goldberg. And the head coach of Anderson is Michael Zion. There's been a few whistles so far today's game, currently in the backfield. We kick deep into the other side. And this one's going to be a little tripping between, it looks like, Aram Laura was caught up in there.
It looks like Lucas Goldberg took the foul there. Kind of a scary free kick spot there for the Trojans. A lot of options.
So far in this game, it's super early on, but ball is shifted closer to the left side than it has the right side so far.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of midfield play so far, but like you said, it's pretty early in the game.
And free kick's going to go, and it will not be good, and it'll be received by Hazel Lay, and I was going to throw this one out to the midfield.
Yeah, great way to deal with that by Lay. A little bit of a bobble, but stuck with it. Prevented the Trojans from getting the rebound there.
Some action in the midfield as the ball is going to go right out of bounds. Looks like Tiago Perez is going to be the Trojan throwing this one in. Ball being danced around the sidelines. This one's going to be passed up midfield. As this one's also going to land over in the Anderson bench area. And let's go through North Georgia's starting lineup. Number 1, Hazel Lay. Number 3, Michael Walsh. Number 9, Will Bentley. Number 10, Santiago Cano. Number 11, Mikhail Prince. Number 12, Aram Laura. Number 13, Harrison Wright. Number 17, Alejandro de Viena. Number 20, Alex Tapia. Number 28, Tyler Vitelli. And number 29, Max Garnett.
Yeah, Max Garnett's been on a roll recently. He's got 4 goals. I think he scored in the last 3 games, I believe. So a a lot of production coming from him.
Indeed, it seems like the star of the Nighthawks so far this season. This one's going to be sailed high into the air, where Cano was there. And now it's going to be Mikhail Prince with the ball. Gets it off to Max Garnett, who we were just talking about. This one's going to be headed in towards inside area, but it's not going to go anywhere. Where Funes is going to kick this one off deep. That ball headed by Michael Walsh nearly goes out of bounds. And this one's going to go towards the backfield, but it's going to get kicked immediately right to the right side of the field. That one in the vicinity over there by Alejandro de Viena and Jamie Round. De Viena is going to throw this one in. As mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Anderson University currently at a 1-1 record. They've played 3 games but their last game on Saturday against Carson Noonan, they were up 1-0, but it was suspended pretty late in the first half and have yet to resume play. As this one is going to go into the far side, and it looks like it's going to be...
Looks like that's going to be a throw-in deep on that left side.
Paul Elas with the throw-in. This one's going to be passed off to Lucas Goldberg. Lucas dribbling the ball is going to pass it to the far side of the field, and that one's going to get blocked immediately. And it looks like Santiago Cano is starting to make a run into Anderson territory. He's going to get this one pass to Max Garnett. Garnett is going to try to get this one in, but it's going to come in with a big-time block that's going to go right near the scoreboard. Didn't quite catch the number on the jersey that blocked it, but a good block kick by Anderson.
Yeah, that was a great counterattack. Nighthawks had to slow down a little bit. They were outmanned running down the field, but slowed it up, got a good ball into the box, and now they're going to be set up for a corner.
Aram Laura is going to be one kicking it in for North Georgia, as they're going to try to set up their first goal of the game. So this one is going to be trying to get headed in, but it's going to bounce out.
Yeah, good punch out by the goalkeeper of Anderson. And now the Trojans look to be on a counterattack of their own.
And they're marching deep into Nighthawk territory. And that one's going to get blocked right by Alejandro de Viena, and Mikhail Prince right back with the ball.
Yeah, great job by de Viena there. Slowed up the attack, let his defenders get back, let him get set up a little bit better, and then got the ball back for the Nighthawks.
Ram Laura is going to pass it towards Max Garnett, and now it's deep in the far field. This one's going to be deep kicked in towards the goal, but it's going to be headed by one of the Anderson players.
Yeah, it feels like early in this game, neither team can really get much possession of the ball. Feels like it's been really back and forth to start it out. That'll be interesting to see which team kind of takes control, kind of takes the ball and owns the possession of this game. And
it is sometimes a little hard to see, especially with it being so early on in the season. As I was mentioning, 1-1 Anderson so far in the season. They've played, I guess you could say 2.25 games or 2.5 games. Their first game was a couple weeks ago, and they beat the number 3 team, Barry University, 3-2, and then immediately followed up against Nova Southwestern, losing 2-0. So hard to see early on between both teams.
Yeah, I mean, not many better ways to start your season out. Beating number 3 in the country. Maybe that second game they were kind of, living off of that first one, kind of took it for granted and lost.
And that one is going to get into the back of the net, and it is in as North Georgia puts the first points up on the board today at the 35-minute mark.
What a great goal there. I didn't quite see who got it.
Looks like it could have been Max Garnett on that one, seeing some hugs given around him. We'll check up with our stats people, double check.
Yeah, Max Garnett, we talked about him 5 minutes ago maybe, always kind of finds himself in the right position, which is a great quality to have in soccer specifically. Always manages to find himself, where he needs to be, and gets a lot of bounces to go his way, and we saw one right there.
You definitely want that skill position on your team and have that leader that Max Garnett has established himself so far this season. So Ram Laura right at midfield. He's going to pass this one back to Alejandro de Viena. And Harrison Wright's going to be in the backfield for North Georgia. Walsh kicking it back to de Viena. Tapia is going to kick this one to the near side of the field to none other than Max Garnett. And that one almost had a potential header by Will Bentley, but Funes comes up with the catch.
Yeah, feels like North Georgia's creating a lot of chances out there. Like I said before, the possession, no one's really established control of the ball, but when North Georgia gets it, they create a lot of opportunities.
Mikhail Prince coming in there with the speed to get the ball right back into North Georgia's possession on the near side of the field. Now the ball is going to be in the far side with de Viena back there. Santiago Cano taking it over the halfway point, where Mikhail Prince is going to have had an open shot there, but this one's going to get blocked by Ivan Cardona, where this ball is going to eventually just sail out of bounds on the North Georgia bench.
By number 10, Santiago Cano.
So Santiago Cano is the one that actually came up with the goal for North Georgia to put them ahead 1-0 over Anderson University.
1, Anderson 0.
Yeah, I believe Will Bentley was credited with the assist there. Again, great way to start out the game for North Georgia, kind of just taking the early lead. Hasn't been a lot of pressure on the North Georgia back line quite yet. When there is, they've dealt with it pretty well. But it's a good sign. You have the lead early, not a lot of pressure so far from your back line, so hopefully they can keep up that same energy.
And one thing, whenever I'm in your spot in the broadcast, I always look at soccer games, whether it's professionally or even on the collegiate level, is whoever has possession of the ball on whichever side of the field, that really dictates on how a game is going to go. And so far, North Georgia's the one that's been in control of the ball so far this game.
Looks like we got a yellow card there for one of the Anderson players. Didn't quite see what exactly got him that yellow card. Looked like a fairly simple foul, but looks like it was number 25. Yeah, it looks like number 25, Lucas Goldberg. We've called his name a couple times in this one early.
This one's going to be kicked off from Aram Laura. This one's going to be kicked by de Viena, and that one Will Bentley was close to the goal there, and now Anderson might have a run here. And this one is going to get defended by Dave Vienna coming in with the crucial block. And
wow, fantastic play by the Nighthawks defense there. Aram Lara seemed to get that one away. Trojans are back in it for another attack.
Cale Prince going to kick this. Prince back with the ball on the near side of the field. So you can get this one to Max Garnett. North Georgia looking to get out of their own backfield. That one's going to be headed by Tiago Perez, where that one's just going to sail out of bounds on the North Georgia sideline.
Yeah, a great job by the Nighthawks defense to really deal with that. That was a tough counterattack. Anderson made some good passes, some good through balls there, and it seemed like a Nighthawk came to save the day whenever they needed it. So, great job there for North Georgia.
It looked like Davian on the far side before the whistles were called were kind of had a little bit of a contact with one of the Anderson players. It's going to be a throw in by Anderson and headed by Alvarez. And this one's going to be taken right back from North Georgia. Santiago Cano currently have the ball. Is going to kick this one deep, but is going to be met by a bunch of Anderson players. William Thompson there for Anderson. Now Tiago Perez. And where it's just going to go right back to the goalkeeper, Funes. Funes going to kick this one to Perez. Now, Julian Caro. Anderson just missed the goal there and come up short. And it looks like it's going to be North Georgia ball. I think that might have been the first shot Anderson's got on North Georgia all day.
Yeah, the rest of them were either blocked or, dealt with before. But Juan Jose Alvarez in the middle there, number 19, he's a large presence in there for the Trojans. And you can kind of see North Georgia has to deal with that. They have to, deal with the physical abilities of number 19.
Hazel is going to kick this one deep from the backfield. This one's going to land right just past midfield, where Harrison Wright is going to just lose the ball, but it looks like it's going to be a North Georgia throw-in.
Yeah, throw-in off of Alvarez's foot there. And it's a good thing. It seemed like that was headed for another pretty deep attack.
And William Thompson right there in the backfield for Anderson. He's going to kick this one deep where it's going to be met by Michael Walsh. And that ball's going to end up with Julian Caro. And that one's going to be a nice header where it looked like that was Harrison Wright with the header there, preventing Anderson from getting a goal. Paul Elias kicked this one right up the midfield line to Lucas Goldberg.
Yeah, Yeah, Lucas Goldberg's a big part of their midfield, as you can see. It feels like everything kind of goes through him and runs through him through that midfield.
And Mikhail Prince has got a little bit of a run going, passes it to Will Bentley, and that one's going to be kicked high into the air by Lucas Goldberg. So the ball landed out of bounds. Currently at the 27-minute mark in the first half of today's game, North Georgia up 1-0 over Anderson University. And TJ, one thing North Georgia, especially on the men's soccer team, a new head coach, well, you could say new, but is familiar with this North Georgia squad. Anel Lilich coming in, stepping in for Pat Paris last year. Paris accepting a job in the Forsyth County school system. And Anel Lilich coming in and having a team being in control of the team now.
Yeah, Anel steps in. He's been with the program a little bit now. At the beginning of the season, they kind of started off a little slow. Second game, a 6-1 loss. That was a tough blow. But I'm really excited to see how the team responded to that. 2 straight wins, and then a tight battle up at Young Harris in their last game. And then we have the lead so far against a team that beat the number 3 team in the country. So I think the way the team responded speaks volumes, and I'm excited to see how that progresses throughout the season.
And you got to help build the team, build the strength mentally and physically, but you all need a foundation to do that, and I think Anel Lilich is doing that so far. But before you even put a foundation down, you're going to need to buy some property or get some property. And this is where Bryan Properties, a commercial real estate brokerage firm that specializes in commercial real estate along the Georgia 400 corridor, is a proud partner of North Georgia Athletics.
Absolutely. And one thing that I do think that Anel has done a great job of this year is using those returners. You look at the back line, most of those guys that are playing, a lot of those minutes are returners. And we see what Max Garnett has done so far this season, being our leading goal scorer. So I think that he's really using the returners well and kind of taking that experience and using it to his advantage.
And it's going to be an exciting season to see what, as you said, Garnett does the rest of the year, being North Georgia's leading goal scorer. This is going to be deep in the backfield. And this ball is headed directly out of bounds. It's going to bounce right in front of the fence. Looked like it was headed up towards the press box area. But it's going to be a throw in for Anderson. Ooh, and that's going to be some nasty contact there between Aram Laura and Anderson player is down.
It's going to be Lucas Goldberg.
Goldberg, we were talking about earlier in the broadcast.
Yeah, we've been talking about him for a while. A lot today. Like I said, I think everything kind of goes through him, and He has a yellow card already. There's a lot of contact with him just because he's around the ball pretty much at all times. That was a scary fall right there. I don't believe there was a foul call. I think the ref maybe thought it was an incidental situation there, but yeah.
That one's going to land out of bounds. Goldberg got up. Lay's going to kick this one to Walsh. Back to Lay. This is going to be a deep kick by Lay, where it's going to be headed by Max Garnett. It's going to be kicked over the midfield line again into North Georgia territory, where Dave Vienna is going to be battling it out in the backfield. Gets it up closer towards midfield line on the far side of the field.
Yeah, great job dealing with that from Dave Vienna. Kind of a one-on-one situation over there near the corner flag. Used his body, got in front of the forward, and got it out. So
this one's going to go right back to Funes.
Yeah, the Trojans seemed comfortable sending it back to their back line and just kind of resetting the offense. They seem pretty comfortable with, the dribbling abilities of their defenders.
Now it looks like there's going to be an Anderson player that went down for a second there, and that was Tiago Perez, but gets right back up. Carpena. It's the ball right around midfield. It's going to pass it to Elias. Sepul Data. That one's going to be kicked right back from Michael Walsh. Now Trojans retreating. TJ, what's been the biggest bright spot that you've seen in this North Georgia team so far this season?
Well, we've talked about Max Garnett. I think, kind of one that maybe is under the radar is Miguel Romero. He has 3 assists this season. He's done a great job of kind of finding the right spots and making the right plays. So I think that's probably going to be an underrated part of this team is that, he's their lead assist man, and he's done a great job so far. And I think a lot of those assists have gone to Max Garnett, so that's kind of a dynamic duo between them. But like I said before, I think really their main strength is how they've responded to adversity so far. At the end of that Young Harris game, it felt like they were going to make something happen just out of pure effort, and I really like that about this team.
And I will say to add on one thing, too. One thing that's been impressive, I'd say Anel Lilich, despite how far in the offseason it was when Pat Paris announced his new position with the Forsyth County school system, being able to rally around the team and keep the pieces. Because normally when you have a new coach come in, things start to really change. But being able to take the pieces that you have and being able to execute on the field, it's a good job on Anel Lilich and his coaching staff so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It really helped that, he had been a part of the program. He knows the guys. He knows, kind of the situation and, the program. So I think that really helped him. And, he has done a great job of kind of igniting these returners to kind of, make some magic and, to put in the hard work and try to make this a good season.
So we're in the deep in Anderson territory. Be in the backfield. Now it's going to be hitting right towards the goal, but it's just going to be short. Funes. This one's going to get kicked deep. With Daviana with a nice back kick, but the ball will eventually land out of bounds.
Looks like we're going to have some subs coming in for Anderson.
This is the first substitutions of the game with 17:50 left in the first half. And it's hard to see some of the numbers from our vantage point.
Looked like number 2, Jamie Round, stepped off. And
It looks like Diego Aramilo has stepped on for Anderson.
Yep.
Diego, a sophomore out of Columbia.
Ref says let him play on.
Yep.
After some
There was a
contact
player
with him.
down for Anderson, but it looks like he's going to get right back up.
A couple dangerous balls there by Anderson.
Paul Elias is going to get that one off to Goldberg. Sepul Data is going to get that one right up the middle where Harrison Wright was
For Anderson, number 10,
right there for the block and stopping a little run Anderson had in North Georgia's backfield. So far in this game, we're just about 15 minutes. We're sitting at 16 minutes till halftime here. North Georgia up 1-0 over Anderson. That one's going to be kicked up high. Kale Prince is going to try and kick that one towards the goal, but just goes right over it and into the fencing around the soccer field. Be battled off midfield where Taramilo is going to dribble this ball to Sepul Data, and that one is just going to go right up in the air where Mikhail Prince is right on top of Sepul Data.
Yeah, the Trojans are making some really good runs these last 10 minutes. A lot of opportunity created by them. The Nighthawks are going to have to find a way to kind of prevent that. But they seem to be dealing with those opportunities well so far.
And looks like Alex Tapia a little tripped up there, but
Yeah.
able to keep his feet on the ground.
Great job by Lay over there, saving that from going out of bounds, prevented a corner for the Trojans.
Laura's going to kick this one right to Santiago Cano. And now it's just going to roll right out of bounds. And that one's just going to sail right into Hazel Lay. Aram Laura almost tripped up there on the play, but eventually gets the ball, but he gets it stolen from him as Anderson's looking to try and get a shot on the goal, and that one is just going to go behind the goal and right over by the fencing area.
Yeah, Harrison Wright in a tough spot right there. One-on-one with just the goalkeeper there behind him. Kind of pushed him, towards the out of bounds line. Made it a tough angle for him to get that shot off.
Diego Jaramillo on the charge there for Anderson, just stepping into the game and making looks like not necessarily an immediate impact, but being able to move the ball in Anderson's direction.
Yeah, Ian Wyndham is coming to the game for North Georgia. That's their counter to Aramilo. Fresh legs on fresh legs. So looks like Wyndham came in for Will Bentley, the assist man on the Nighthawks' first goal.
It's like Santiago Cano. Pass this one to Mikhail Prince. Prince is going to shoot this one just right of the goal, and it's going to be a Funes kick.
Going to be a goal kick there. Right idea from Prince, but probably didn't put that shot where he would have liked to have it.
Alvarez is going to pass this one to Jaramillo. And North Georgia's going to get it right back. Ram Laura passing it upfield to Ian Wyndham. Now in the backfield with Michael Walsh. Walsh is going to kick this one to the far right near side. And it looks like ball's still in play. That one's going to be attempted, and it looks like Santiago Cano passing it to Alex Tapia. Tapia back with the ball. Now it's going to get kicked towards Diego Jaramillo, which is met immediately by a North Georgia player, Max Garnett.
Yeah, the Nighthawks like to get Max Garnett deep onto that near side flag, and put a ball in. I think a lot of why he scored so many goals is he'll beat the defender on that side and get a good look at it, at a shot. Or he'll put the ball in, the ball bounces around, he comes and cleans it up. So I think that's been the strategy this year, and I think that's what's kind of led to Garnett's success so far.
Anderson trying to make a run here late in the first half. It's going to be kicked right over to Jaramillo. Milo's going to make a shot on the goal, but it is going to be an amazing block by goalkeeper Hazel Lay, getting the arms up there and blocking an Anderson goal.
Yeah, Lay, incredible save right there. Jaramillo, his fresh legs, ever since he has come into the game, he's really made an impact so far.
That was a great reach by Lay, getting his kind of jumping up in the air and getting his arm right out there to block the ball. So this one's going to be a corner kick, and
great punch out by Lay there.
Now Anderson will retreat to midfield. And that one's going to go out of bounds. Looks like we might have some potential subs coming in. And it looks like we will. Looks like Miguel Romero. Excuse me, got the wrong Romero. Daniel Romero coming in. Sometimes that sun mixes up the numbers. 2 and a 1 can look similar.
Kind of feels like the momentum is kind of starting to shift towards Anderson. They're getting a lot more opportunities than they started with. And I think that North Georgia is going to have a response to that. It's late in the first half, so if they can hold on till the halftime break, kind of reset everything, reset the momentum, I think that'll be a huge, win for the North Georgia team.
A lot of defenders and North Georgia players in the middle of that in the far field. Currently, it's like Daniel Romero. Pass this one to Harrison Wright.
Stepping on for Anderson, number 21, Santiago Arce.
Walsh passes this to the far side of the field to Daviena. It's going to go right back to Walsh. And right back to Wright. Wright and Laura passing the ball to each other and eventually just gets it to Lay. Where Lay's going to pass it right back to Wright. Laura to Walsh. Back to Laura. Laura's going to get this one right to Santiago Cano, where this one's going to go right back to Harrison Wright. Tapia to Daviena in the backfield. Got 6.5 minutes until halftime. Ball's been sitting, I'd say, around midfield for the past 1.5 to 2 minutes now. Team's not really giving up too much of an inch around the circle.
Yeah, North Georgia seems to be content with that 1-0 lead heading into half. I'm sure, anybody would love to have a 2-0 lead, but, they're okay with heading into the locker room up 1-0. I think that'll give them a good chance to, reset, like I said, reset the momentum, kind of, figure out what they want to accomplish in the second half and kind of talk over what they saw here in this first half.
Still battle of the midfield as of late. It's going to be a sliding kick by Ian Wyndham. Let's pass this one to Daniel Romero, to where now Max Garnett's got the ball. And it was going to be kicked high in the air and is going to sail right out of bounds into the grandstands.
Yeah, good idea by Garnett. Maybe a little bit more lift to the ball is probably what he was looking for there, but nonetheless, that was a good idea. Just trying to create an opportunity. Maybe take a 2-0 lead here late in the first half.
Garnett going to throw this one in, where it's going to be immediately met by Jaramillo.
Stepping on for North Georgia, number 22, Marvin Rodas.
Rodas step.
16, Tyler Bissek.
Marvin Rodas and Tyler Bissek stepping on for North Georgia as we have gone under the 5-minute mark in the first half. Currently in the backfield, Tiago Perez. Passing it to Diego Jaramillo. Mio battling it out with two Nighthawks. That one's going to be kicked deep into North Georgia territory, where Harrison Wright's going to come up with the block. And that's going to be a big-time shove from Elon Munoz. Or it looked like he pushed Aram Laura right there on the sideline.
Yeah, I think he might have stepped on his foot a little bit. Made the fall look a little bit harder than it was. Hopefully, still a foul call, which has been kind of rare in this game. There's been a good bit of contact, not many foul calls. So the ref looks to be letting them play today.
Tyler Bissek caught up right there with an Anderson player, falling down, but gets right back up. Daniel Romero right around the circle. There's going to be a free kick by North Georgia. Clock continues to wind down. Under 3 minutes to go until halftime. one's going to be kicked off by Lay, and it's going to go deep into Anderson territory, where Ian Wyndham is in the backfield for North Georgia. And that one's going to land right out of bounds, but it's going to be a throw-in for the Nighthawks. Be thrown in by Wyndham. It's going to be a bunch of Nighthawk and Trojan players. And that one's going to be out of bounds as well. Throw in for North Georgia. He's going to be immediately met by some Trojan players. Harrison Wright pedal back to midfield. Aram Laura pass it to Max Garnett. Max Garnett going to get tripped up there. Whistles were called.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a North Georgia free kick. Very dangerous spot.
With a minute to go until halftime, North Georgia up 1-0 over Anderson. Aram Laura on the free kick for North Georgia.
1 minute remaining.
Max Garnett in header position. Laura. Garnett is not going to get there in time. It's going to be blocked by an Anderson player. And it's going to be kicked out of bounds by Anderson.
It's going to be off in North Georgia. It's going to be an Anderson throw-in. They're going to try to speed it up here, try to get something right before the half time break.
Harrison Wright in the backfield for North Georgia to regain possession. Now it looks like Anderson getting a little momentum with under a minute to go. And it's going to be headed off. Is Lucas Goldberg. He's going to kick this one right over near the goal area, but it's going to be met by a couple of North Georgia Nighthawks.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And we have hit halftime here at Lincoln Trail Park at the UNG soccer field. It's North Georgia 1, Anderson 0. We'll be back right after halftime. You've been watching North Georgia Soccer on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
I'm here.
You've got a lot of reasons to be here. That's why we're here at Georgia Heart Institute, where advanced heart attack treatments save more hearts than anywhere in Georgia.
My baby girl is home.
Georgia Heart Institute.
Since 2007, we've seen an explosion in popularity of superhero movies in the last decade. Rayner argues that superhero films offer an escape from the boredom many of us feel with our lives. We love the epic. We want epic lives. There's a tension you're going to face as you celebrate, walk out of this door, and you go to Monday and you say, what's next? And more importantly, how do I live a superhero life? John Gordon, he's a best-selling author on leadership. This is what he says. There's a myth about success, graduates. I'm going to paraphrase a little bit. One that says it's all about you. But here's the truth. You're not a real success unless you're helping others be successful. That's the greatest self-growth strategy of all time. The more you help others grow and improve, you grow and improve. Focus on others. It's not about you. And you'll find something even greater than success. Graduates, you'll find significance. But remember, in all of this, there's a tension. How do I live a superhero life? Enter the epic by being bold. Your family, your community, our state, and our nation are all counting on you. Graduates, today we celebrate you. We celebrate your hard work. We celebrate your diligence. We celebrate your commitment, and I am so incredibly proud of you.
You can't really get an idea of how another country runs their military until you go abroad.
It was cool to see their outlook on just life in general. To be there as a global ambassador is definitely a life-changing experience.
I participated in the Management College National Defense University Cadet Exchange. That is located in Taipei, Taiwan.
So I participated in study abroad internship in country of Georgia. The program I participated in was the Swiss Summer Mountaineering course. The experience was extremely professional. There were people from different militaries across the world. I was training with soldiers that were once our adversaries. It's fun to notice the importance of diplomatic relations and also civil affairs through the military.
The host school was always really going out of their way to help us get the full cultural experience because we were, in their eyes, only going to be there for 5 months.
They drove us out and we hiked to a glacier. That was unique, especially coming from Tennessee. There's no ice walls to climb. Their native language of Georgian was very difficult. However, at the end, I gave a little speech in Georgian, thanking their academy. It was an eye-opening experience. One thing I learned in Switzerland was to try and enjoy everything that you're doing, no matter how challenging it is.
Being able to see the country of your target language in person and really living day to day can move your passion to continue learning the language that much further.
All the conferences, all the internship, and all the exchange programs will help you as you develop, not just as a soldier, but also as a person. I think everybody in the Corps should study abroad because it will develop them so much.
If you have a free semester, it's the perfect time to explore a country. There's really not much holding you back in terms of whether or not you should go. It's a great experience.
I got extremely valuable training and just an overall incredible life experience that I wouldn't have gotten going to any other school. And it was the opportunity of a lifetime.
My wife's family is full of medical professionals, including lots of nurses. The more they talk to me about nursing, the more I realize there are so many different opportunities within the field of nursing. You can constantly continue growing, continue learning, which was something that really drew me to it. I was really attracted to the accelerated program at UNG for a couple reasons. One, I heard that UNG, like everything I've heard about UNG's nursing program is incredible. I have a couple friends who have been through it in recent years and had just spoke very highly of it. Just everything I've seen online, spoken about it, it's just a very reputable program. So UNG was already a pretty clear choice for me. And then seeing the opportunity to do an accelerated program, it was kind of a no-brainer. Honestly, I get to graduate earlier, and one of the things that appealed to me the most, actually, was that most of our clinical rotations are at Northeast Georgia Medical Center. I am really thankful for the faculty that are specifically dedicated to the ABSN program here. This faculty, they really want to see us succeed in this program and be the best nurses we can possibly be.
From the moment you know where you are headed, it starts a journey that you will never forget. For those who seek a higher calling, to serve something bigger than themselves and take the path less traveled, UNG awaits to prepare you for your leadership pathway. Once you're here, you will be challenged and developed, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Freshman Recruit Orientation Group, or Frog Week, is the first step of the UNG journey. The commitment, the attitude, the effort, and the resilience take shape as you move forward on a pathway that most will never attempt.
Y'all got 2 minutes to change into OCPs. Time now. Let's go. Move it. Move it.
It is a process that teaches you about yourself and makes you better than you were yesterday. At times, it can be a struggle, but it's also an investment in yourself. Like life, it can create moments of doubt. You learn about yourself and your strengths and weaknesses. You share this journey with the men and women to your left and right, establishing lifelong bonds with the understanding that nothing worth having ever comes easy. But through adversity, you build strength, determination, and the desire to never quit. Frog Week will establish a foundation to build upon, strengthen you physically and mentally, and start shaping you into the leader you came here to be. For cadets at the University of North Georgia, they take the road less traveled, avoid taking the easy way out, and develop instrumental values that will prepare them for a life of service and leadership. Some people talk about it, others are about it.
My wife's family is full of medical professionals, including lots of nurses. The more they talk to me about nursing, the more I realize there are so many different opportunities within the field of nursing. You can constantly continue growing, continue learning, which was something that really drew me to it. I was really attracted to the accelerated program at UNG for a couple reasons. One, I heard that UNG, like everything I've heard about UNG's nursing program is incredible. I have a couple friends who have been through it in recent years and just spoke very highly of it. Just everything I've seen online, spoken about it, it's just a very reputable program. So UNG was already a pretty clear choice for me. And then seeing the opportunity to do an accelerated program, it was kind of a no-brainer. Honestly, I get to graduate earlier, and one of the things that appealed to me the most, actually, was that most of our clinical rotations are at Northeast Georgia Medical Center. I am really thankful for the faculty that are specifically dedicated to the ABSN program here. This faculty, they really want to see us succeed in this program and be the best nurses we can possibly be.
From the moment you know where you are headed, it starts a journey that you will never forget. For those who seek a higher calling, to serve something bigger than themselves and take the path less traveled, UNG awaits to prepare you for your leadership pathway. Once you're here, you will be challenged and developed, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Freshman Recruit Orientation Group, or Frog Week, is the first step of the UNG journey. The commitment, the attitude, the effort, and the resilience take shape as you move forward on a pathway that most will never attempt.
Y'all got 2 minutes to change into OCPs. Time now. Let's go. Move it. Move it.
It is a process that teaches you about yourself and makes you better than you were yesterday. At times, it can be a struggle, but it's also an investment in yourself. Like life, it can create moments of doubt. You learn about yourself and your strengths and weaknesses. You share this journey with the men and women to your left and right, establishing lifelong bonds with the understanding that nothing worth having ever comes easy. But through adversity, you build strength, determination, and a desire to never quit. Frog Week will establish a foundation to build upon, strengthen you physically and mentally, and start shaping you into the leader you came here to be. For cadets at the University of North Georgia, they take the road less traveled, avoid taking the easy way out, and develop instrumental values that will prepare them for a life of service and leadership. Some people talk about it, others are about it.
Considering a career change? Ready to lead in healthcare? Be a nurse in 15 months with our accelerated Bachelor's of Nursing track. Learn more at ung.edu/ABSN.
I'm here.
You've got a lot of reasons to be here.
I'm here.
That's why we're here at Georgia Heart Institute, where advanced heart attack treatment protocols are saving more hearts than anywhere else in the state. That's why we're here.
I'm here.
So you'll always be there. The future of heart care, we're leading Georgia there. Georgia Heart Institute.
Northeast Georgia Health System is a proud supporter of North Georgia Nighthawk Athletics.
We welcome you back here at Lake Cottrell Park at the UNG soccer field for the second half of the men's soccer game between Anderson University and the North Georgia Nighthawks. North Georgia going up early in this contest, leading Anderson 1-0. And that goal and we are underway for the second half. Santiago Cano getting that goal within the first 10 minutes of today's game. It was a nice relief. It's been quite a hot day here in the North Georgia mountains. Sure, the sweat's been rivering down North Georgia and Anderson's players today. River City Bank is a proud partner of North Georgia Athletics. Their personal banking products were designed with your unique needs in mind and proudly serve the Rome, Blairsville, and Dawsonville communities. River City Bank, a proud sponsor of North Georgia Athletics. And looks like there's some contention down there on the Anderson in North Georgia territory. Anderson just going to come up just short. Hazelay is going to kick this one off. I will say, before we move on to the next topic, River City Bank, I think that's a really cool name for a bank. River City, keep the money flowing through the bank account.
I'm sure they appreciate that. I'm interested to see how this half goes. Kind of everything is reset. We went through a couple momentum shifts in that first half. And then the big goal by Cano there early in the first half. So I'm interested to see what changes both sides have made, and how the game gets called going forward. There's a lot of different things that could change from the first half to the second half, and I'm excited to see what transpires out there.
Yeah, it seemed like we do, as you said, multiple momentum shifts.
Yeah.
In that first half, I would say North Georgia was in control of the game in that first half, really for the first 25 minutes of the game. It was right until substitutions came in where things, I would say, started to go on the other side and more momentum going towards Anderson University. And before we finish this thought, it looks like we got I wouldn't say necessarily a player down on the field, but it looks like there was a wardrobe possibly malfunction on the field Chick-fil-A of Dahlonega is the presenting sponsor of the Nighthawk of the Week Award and a proud partner of North Georgia Athletics. If you're looking for great food nearby, it's Chick-fil-A's pleasure to serve you.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, a few momentum shifts. It felt like, at the beginning, both teams were kind of feeling each other out, trying to, figure out, how the other team was going to attack them and defend them. And then once that happened, it felt like North Georgia kind of took control for a little bit. They got the goal. They had a lot of, early chances. And then towards the end, it felt like, Anderson kind of started to make their move. They started to put more pressure inside the box, more pressure on that back line of North Georgia. So I think really a deciding factor is going to be if they can keep that pressure up into the second half, or if the momentum goes back to the North Georgia sideline after that break.
And we kind of saw it. The subs came in, momentum shifted towards Anderson, but I'd say those last 5 minutes or so of that half looked like the momentum was starting to shift back into North Georgia's favor.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and I've said it all day, that ball hit off the referee, actually. So that's going to be a free kick for, looks like, Anderson. But, yeah, I said it, kind of at the beginning. This team does a great job of responding to adversity and responding to moments to where, it looks like Anderson's coming up close to a goal. Someone comes in, makes a save, makes a play. And it felt like that happened a lot, kind of maybe the 10-minute mark a little bit before that. And then, North Georgia kind of responded to that and kind of started to make their run as well. So very, very good quality to have for the North Georgia men's soccer team.
Anderson looking to net their first goal here inside the box. It's like Sepul Data down there for Still ball inside the box. Anderson looking to put their first goal up on the board with 40 minutes left to go in this second half.
Anderson player seems very unhappy with that foul call. Looks like he thinks it probably should have gone the other way. And that would have been a dangerous spot for Anderson to have a free kick at. Ref seems to be talking to him a bit. Great play by Harrison Wright down there in the box, getting his head on the ball, kind of just getting it away, from the box, getting it away from that defender, and kind of ending that opportunity.
Looks like Hazelay is going to have a deep kick here. Get it out of North Georgia territory. And it's going to be headed up right over towards Tyler Vitelli. And
a little long by Cano there. Had a great through ball. Saw Mikael Prince making his run. Just hit it a little too far. And the goalkeeper came out to pick it up.
Dave Viana is going to kick this one to Lay. That one's going to get headed by Goldberg for Anderson.
I'm interested to see how Goldberg plays in this second half. He has one yellow. It is a risk to go down to 10 men. And he seems to be kind of, the lightning for this team. He kind of ignites a lot of things. So it'll be interesting to see if he still has that kind of fire and just plays how he plays, or if he tries to play a little bit more conservatively to try to prevent getting a
And it looks like
yellow.
There's some major contact there between a Nighthawk and a Trojan.
Ref
like
does
it was
have his yellow card out.
Elon Munoz. And didn't quite see the Nighthawk there who was involved, but it might have been.
Yellow card issued to number 18, Elian Munoz.
Yeah, Munoz picks up the yellow card there. I believe it was a foul on Max Garnett.
Mm-hmm. Walking in the backfield.
Yeah. Yeah, Goldberg and Max Garnett kind of have a similar playing style. They kind of just play all around the field. They play, fast and loose. And they kind of got, a special kind of fire to them that kind of, gets the momentum onto their team's side. Very interesting matchup between those two.
So it's going to go right over the midfield line into Anderson territory, but it's going to go right back into North Georgia territory. And I'm curious what you think about this. Hear how the UNG soccer field and the complex is all set up here, where the sun sets throughout the year, whether it be more towards the west or the southwest or the northwest side, depending on the season you're in. The sun kind of sets at the moment, kind of right behind the goal on the right side of the field. So you could say the south side of the field. Do you think that whichever team has to shoot on the goal on the left side, do you think it's a little bit of an advantage where earlier in the game the sun is setting, or the sun isn't as low on the field, whereas if you have to shoot on this side, that it's more of a disadvantage having to look into the sun?
Yeah, I think it could be. I think that, a lot of your shots aren't coming from directly from that side. Most of them are coming, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. But just kind of overall gameplay, you can see now the Anderson goalkeeper, he's shading his eyes from the sun pretty much constantly. So I don't know how big of an advantage it is. I think it might be, a little bit at some points, but if you're playing an early game, you could have that same issue on the other side. So I think, it's one of those things where, these are high-level athletes. They've dealt with a lot of things, and I think it's just one of those things that, they learn to deal with as they grow up playing.
And as the season goes on, the sun will be setting sooner and sooner in the day. So really the shadows and the sun will be lower, and the sun will set more in the tree area.
Yeah.
As we got some action inside the box here in North Georgia territory. Anderson territory.
Yeah, that's going to be a foul on Max Garnett. Tough position for Max Garnett. He's got to fight for the ball against a much taller defender. Anderson has a lot of size on the field pretty much at all times, and kind of just got into his back there trying to get up to the same level and win that header.
North Georgia marching into Anderson territory. Garnett on the far side for North Georgia, and that one's going to go way over the goal.
Yeah, Max Garnett had a great pass there, set him up for success, and maybe just a misfire on the shot. Looks like that was number 9, Will Bentley, with that shot. Yeah. Again, great pass from Garnett. Created a great opportunity for the Nighthawks, and it's good to see that here in the second half. They did a lot of that in the first. So
we got a Anderson player tripped up, and looks like he's giving his thoughts to the ref.
Yeah, it's going to be their free kick.
Looks like that was Juan Jose Alvarez involved there for Anderson. So this one's going to be kicked to Jamie Round in the near side of the field. Round's going to kick this one to Goldberg. Goldberg trying to get out of the pocket. It's going to be 2 Nighthawks, 2 Anderson players heading it up, where Say Pool Data comes up with the ball. And that one's going to be met by a Nighthawk, and Say Pool Data of Anderson, which is just going to turn into a kick for North Georgia.
Definitely a scary bounce there for North Georgia. Lay comes out, deals with it. But yeah, scary bounce. Just really nothing you can do about that. You just have to deal with the problem at hand if you're Lay.
It's going to be throw in. Aram Laura there immediately for North Georgia. Anderson trying to march down the field. Sepul Data is going to kick this one to Tiago Perez. Perez could be on the near side, and the ball's going to roll right out of bounds.
Yeah, Tiago Perez tried to save that, tried to keep the attack going. Just couldn't get there.
So 32 minutes left in the second half. North Georgia up 1-0 over Anderson. And one thing that was announced yesterday is that our women's soccer team now nationally ranked. They're currently ranked 20th in Division II.
Yeah, best start since 2019. 3 wins and 1 tie. Again, with the tie coming against the 19th ranked team in the country. The absolutely fantastic start for that women's soccer program. A lot of tests coming up, but the Peach Belt Conference, it looks to be a fun conference. Flagler's ranked. Columbus State's always near the top. I think that Columbus State is unranked right now, but I believe that they'll return to that top 25 poll here soon. They played a tough schedule early on, but yeah, 3 wins in 4 games and no losses, so can't really ask for much better from that program. Last time they had a better start, they started out 4-0, and they won 16 games that year. 16 games, 3 losses, and 2 ties. So
looks like Columbus State. Young Harris no longer a part of the Peach Belt.
Right.
Columbus State looking to become North Georgia's next potential big-time rival, having them face off in Peach Belt Conference Tournament. And this one's going to be almost headed in inside the box. And that one's going to be kicked far out of bounds. And it looks like we might have whistles were blown.
Yeah, it looks like the Trojans are going to have a free kick in a dangerous spot right outside of the box. I did not see a card come out, but usually if it gets around that box, refs are more inclined to maybe give out a card. No card, it seems, but definitely a dangerous spot to give a free kick.
As we were talking about Columbus State, North Georgia, and the softball, and whether in the Division II tournament or the Peach Belt tournament, both of those wins went on to North Georgia softball winning the Division II softball championship. And I guess you could say that was really the party of the summer, as that one was nearly headed in by Anderson, and this one is going to be right into the backfield to Funes. And we're speaking of, and this one's going to be, try to get it back inside the box. Anderson, and a great block by Hazel Lay there, preventing Anderson from putting up their first point of the game.
Yeah, diving save from Lay there. Always tough when it bounces around like that. You kind of have to judge like who's it going to hit off of, where it's going to go off of them. So fantastic job by Lay. North Georgia wants a foul there.
Looks like it was on the far side of the field. Lay coming up with another great grab for North Georgia. This one's going to be passed out to Tyler Vitelli. Vitelli moving up midfield. Pass this one on the far side to Mikhail Prince. Prince dueling it out with Paul Elias. Elias gets the ball right back for Anderson. As we were mentioning, North Georgia winning the softball championship this year, being really, you could say, the party of the summer. There's just no other way you could really do it without Jitterbug Party Rentals. A trusted partner for all your inflatable and event rental needs, is a proud sponsor of North Georgia Athletics. Their mission is to provide an easy, safe, clean, and professional rental experience to the North Georgia area. Sepul Deda. Passing that one to Paul Elias, but Paul Elias has gone down on the field. Looks like he's holding his head.
Yep, and the yellow card has come out. It looks like that's going to go to Mikhail Prince. I can't quite see the number over there on the sideline. But North Georgia will receive their first yellow card of the day. Looks like he's back up and moving around, trying to shake that one off.
Yellow card issued to number 11, Mikhail Prince, North Georgia.
And Anderson will have another free kick.
And this one is going to be blocked by actually one of the Anderson players. I think he might have slipped there, and the ball goes right over the fence, and Hazel Lay is out there to go retrieve the ball.
Yeah, good break for North Georgia there, getting a goal kick when normally those are going to end up being either a shot or a corner. So
Ian Wyndham coming back into the game for North Georgia. He's out there towards the end of the first half, stepping right back in. Looks like we got the ball situation sorted out. This is going to be battled out around midfield. Looks like the Anderson Trojans are going to get a little bit of a run here. And it's going to be stopped immediately and picked up right by North Georgia's Ian Wyndham, just coming into the game. And the ball's going to sail right out of bounds.
Yeah, wonderful defending there by Harrison Wright. Just basically stopped the whole run by himself, stuck his leg out there and got a piece of it, and prevented the Trojans from getting another opportunity.
Don't forget to mention some of our ball handlers today in attendance are the North Georgia basketball team. The men's basketball team, they coming off a very successful season last year. First time making it into the NCAA postseason, and their season starts up in a little less than 2 months, about 2 months from now with the crossover weekend here in Dahlonega.
Yeah, they just returned from a trip to Greece. Maybe their trip to Europe inspired, a little soccer today. I saw Peach Belt Conference Player of the Year Frank Champion down there helping shag balls for the men's soccer team. So good to see the Nighthawk program sticking together and helping each other out.
I do want to keep it short, but I will say this. Especially what we've seen in professional basketball and the movement we've seen in the draft and players that are playing there, it's not just United States anymore. We're seeing a lot of international flair in the NBA, especially nowadays. I wonder what with North Georgia's men's basketball team going over into Europe, I wonder how that's going to help them going into this season, playing against players that we're starting to see a lot of players come out on the European side of things.
Yeah, it's the same game, just a different flavor. They kind of play it a little bit tougher, it feels like. It kind of reminds me of maybe more of a 90s style of basketball. But I really think the biggest upgrade from that trip, the biggest thing that they're going to take from that trip is just, being together. That team bond is going to be, as good as it's going to be as early in the season as it can be. So, and they're returning everybody, bringing in 3-4 new recruits. So I think that was just a good chance for the team to bond and kind of come together before, the grind of the season begins.
Yeah, and it'll be exciting to see what the Meds team does this year. It's going to be a throw-in for Anderson University. And Hazel Lay is going to get there just in time before the ball could have rolled into the back of the net. So we are now under 25 minutes left to go at the second half. I will say, out of a lot of the facilities, and I've traveled to a couple of Division II facilities as well, North Georgia has a lot of great facilities, Convocation Center. You got Lincoln Trail Park, the soccer fields, Bob Stein Stadium, Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium. We've seen a lot of improvements over the past couple of years. Convocation Center opening in 2018, scoreboards being added right before the pandemic at the athletic fields, and seeing massive improvements to the North Georgia baseball and softball viewing experiences, adding all those, not paddock experiences, but being able to watch from the outfield and seeing a lot of that stuff come up from the ground up. Rains Grading and Hauling, a commercial and residential grading and hauling company located in Dahlonega, is a proud sponsor of North Georgia Athletics. And this one's going to be in the box, and it looks like a Anderson player has gone down. Looks like Michael Walsh might have slid into... Looks like it might have slid into Santiago Arce. The foot might have hit him in the head as Arce was going down, and Walsh was coming in. But it looks like Santiago Arce is going to get back up on his feet.
Yeah, it's tough to see over there. Pretty much both entire teams are standing in one spot, right around where the free kick's going to be. I think that, this is a big set piece for both teams. If they can stop it, then that would be huge. And if, Anderson can find the equalizer, that would be equally as big for them. Seems like we have a few subs coming in now. Looks like Dave Vienna's going to step off.
Looks like it's going to be a kick for Anderson University and the opportunity for them to put their first points up on the board today.
Yeah, Alex Tapia stepping on.
Diego Harmilo shifting towards the right side of the box for Anderson. And this one's going to be immediately blocked by the Brigade of North Georgia. Harmilo is going to nearly almost get this one into the goal, but it looks like Hazel Lay went down on the play there. Goalkeeper for North Georgia.
Yeah, that's about as good of a chance as you could ask for. The wall, North Georgia's wall, they blocked it, sent it back. The Trojans sent it right back in down the right-hand side. And then what a beautiful ball, like straight past the box. I mean, it rolled past 3 or 4 Trojan forwards. So they're going to be kicking themselves if they don't come up with the equalizer here soon.
Not too sure what happened to Hazel Lay there. Harmilo's ball wasn't enough for it to go in, but slided right diagonally past the goal, or horizontally past the goal. Hazel Lay's going to kick it in, gets back up from, I'm not sure what happened there. Just saw him roll back to the back of the net. Harmilo is going to throw this one in for Anderson. It's going to be a throw in for North Georgia. Looks like Santiago Cano gotten a little tripped up there. Talking to Ivan Cardona. Hazel is going to trot out of the box and kick this one for North Georgia.
Yeah, pace of play has come to a complete halt almost. At the beginning of this half, it felt like it was, fast paced from both sides. Anderson had a lot of chances, and they're still creating those chances, but it feels like there's been a few more whistles in this portion of the half than there was last.
And that one nearly could have gone in for North Georgia. Santiago Cano right there, just slipping at the end of the play there, as this one's going to go right back into North Georgia's territory.
Yeah, Max Garnett with another created opportunity. Feels like he's been doing that all day long, really all season long. Great pass. Just couldn't find the back of the net there. Couldn't get the shot off. But, again, Garnett continues to just dial it up.
And that one's going to be just tipped off by the goalkeeper, Funes. Funes just barely getting on for that block there. Could have been another goal for North Georgia. And this one's going to go right through some of the soccer players, and it's going to go right to Hazel Lay. He's going to pick this one up. Under 20 minutes to go in the game. North Georgia 1-0 over Anderson. This one's going to go deep into Anderson territory. Funes going to roll this ball to Sepul Data. It's going to be kicked deep. That one's going to Kicked right back towards the midfield point. Will Bentley on that. It's going to be picked up by an Anderson player looking to get their first goal of the night.
Ref allowed advantage right there. He put the whistle to his mouth, but saw that Anderson was keeping control of the ball and didn't want to end that progress.
And a dangerous spot here for Anderson as their goalkeeper is not even anywhere near the box and closer to the midway point and trips up Santiago Cano there. And that's just a very odd sequence of events because really Funes there kind of became not a goalkeeper but became just another player on the team.
I'll be interested to see if a card does come out. It looked like as the Nighthawks were trying to pick up the pace and throw it in while the Anderson goalkeeper was that far up the field, looked like the Anderson goalkeeper reached out to block the throw in, almost like a basketball play.
I think I from the vantage point that we have here, it kind of looked like he sprinted out really, really far to the to midfield, which is not normal. And then I think what could have happened is he realized that he was not at the goal or anywhere near the goal, and North Georgia had a throw in, so it was an open net essentially.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I definitely believe that's what was going through his head. He realized that it was a mistake to be that far up on the field, and the Nighthawks had the ball and were prepared to go. Empty net, like you said. Interesting decision there. Kind of maybe got caught up in the play and kind of just lost where he was at on the field. Second kind of risky play I've seen from him. Just maybe a minute or two ago, he picked up the ball with one hand as an incoming Nighthawk was coming in. Didn't even use his free hand. So I don't know. There was a couple risky plays there, just in that quick sequence.
Hazel's going to come out to around midfield. He's going to kick this one deep for North Georgia. This one's going to be battled out between Aram Laura and another Anderson player, and that ball is going to roll right out of bounds. There's going to be a throw-in for Anderson.
Yellow card issued, number 1, Franco Antonioni Funes for Anderson.
Yeah, yellow card for the goalkeeper was just announced. I didn't see the card come out, and I did think that would usually have a card come out for a situation like that, but
just kind of a weird situation all around, and really in all my years that I've watched soccer, I don't think I've ever seen a goalkeeper come that far out of the box and then realizing that there's an open net in the backfield.
Yeah, it's a rare thing. I will say I don't know if I've ever seen a block attempt on a throw-in.
And that was the first too. I haven't seen anything like that either.
Going to be an offsides call
on Santiago Cano.
Yeah, it looks like Cano was just past that back line of defenders for Anderson.
We've called Cano's name a little bit, or actually a couple of times this second half for North Georgia. We kick deep. Where Santiago Arce was back there for Anderson. And Hazel Lay's going to come in up and scoop the ball up. With 15 minutes left to go in the game, North Georgia leading 1-0 over Anderson.
Yeah, Lay having a great game. The stat sheet's not going to say he had a lot of saves today, but just the plays that you kind of have to have from your goalkeeper to kind of be that last line of defense. He's made each and every one of them, along with a few solid saves. We had the diving one here in the second, and then that one in the first where he pushed it over the bar.
Mm-hmm. Definitely need key positions there.
Looks like we have 3 Nighthawks lined up, prepared to go in. It's going to be number 17, Alejandro De Viena, number 27, Daniel Romero, and number 28, Tyler Vitelli.
And it looks like the goal has gone through the back of the net. Will Bentley with a goal puts North Georgia up 2-0 over Anderson University.
It's a big goal for the Nighthawks. A 2-0 lead is a lot bigger than a 1-0 lead.
A big goal, especially considering when we saw the first half, momentum was on one side and mostly on North Georgia, where this half, where it's been really back and forth and a little bit towards Anderson's side, indeed a key goal, putting North Georgia up 2-0 over Anderson University.
Yeah, absolutely. The
Correction.
pressure is a lot different with a 2-0 lead. With a 1-0 lead any second. We saw it in the women's game against Lee. Grace McGill scored with 1.4 seconds, so you're never really out of it. And the Nighthawks are going to have to continue to, defend and play well on that side of the field, but the pressure kind of is off of their shoulders a little bit more with the 2-0 lead.
Correction, that was Ian Wyndham on the goal for North Georgia. Putting the Nighthawks up 2-0 over Anderson University. With under 15 minutes left to go in the second half. Looks like we've got Max Garnett battling it out between William Thompson of Anderson.
I think that was Vitelli, but yeah, that was actually a really good sign to see. A lot of teams may, kind of sit back, kind of just let the game come to them, but it was good to see Vitelli get out there and, say, hey, we're not done. Like, we want to score more, and we're going to keep working at it.
Looks like whistles are going to be called here. There's some contact made between Juan Jose Alvarez, and I believe the other Nighthawk involved in that was Alex Tapia.
A little bit of chirping going back and forth. I'm sure that was a very disappointing goal to let up from the Anderson Trojans there. You feel like you have a chance until the final whistle with a one-goal deficit. But, when it gets to this late in the game, it kind of just starts to snowball emotionally for you.
Hazelay going to be on for the kick for North Georgia. Just going to go deep into Anderson territory. It's going to be headed by a few Trojans and Nighthawk players. And Marvin Rodas on the save for North Georgia, preventing Anderson to make a run into North Georgia territory. Look at Alejandro De Viena slipped there, getting the ball from out of bounds. Funes going to kick this one out of their own end for Anderson. It's going to be kicked up into the air into North Georgia territory, where Santiago Cano is going to limp to the sideline here, and Cano is down. He was trying to go after that ball, and he looked like he was limping on that knee a little bit before reaching the fence and then trying to go off the fence, and then, yeah, he's holding that knee right there, right at the midfield line. Athletic trainers coming onto the field. And something certainly you don't want to see as a North Georgia fan. Santiago Cano going down. We've called on his name a couple of times, especially in the second half.
Yeah, you're hoping for, maybe just a cramp. It is hot outside today, so hoping that it's a cramp. Always tough to, get an injury like this, this late in the game. But it looks like, Adam Dom and the training team here at North Georgia are taking care of them, and they do a great job here at North Georgia. We have our student athletes are well taken care of here in Dahlonega.
Good to see Cano back up on his feet, but definitely limping to the North Georgia sideline, a sight you don't want to see in any game.
Yeah, trying to work it out. but he looks to be moving a little bit better the further he goes across the field. So hoping for good things for him.
So sitting at 11:58 to go in the game. North Georgia up 2-0. We talked about it a couple minutes ago. Really momentum swinging back and forth in this second half. A lot of it going into Anderson's territory, but North Georgia is the team that's ending up capitalizing despite momentum on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, efficiency-wise, you can't really ask better for North Georgia. When they get their opportunities, they like to take advantage, and that just hasn't been the case for Anderson. They've come up unlucky a couple times. I'm reminded by that one play down there on this end of the field where the ball just rolled across the goal and it was not touched by anybody, a North Georgia defender or an attacker from Anderson. So just kind of coming up short. But I mean, all credit to North Georgia being able to take advantage of the opportunities that they're given in this game.
Lay's going to kick this one deep into Anderson territory. That one's going to be tipped up into the air by Paul Elias. It's going to land right back into Anderson territory. Alejandro De Viena is going to kick this one towards the backfield, and it looks like Anderson might build a little momentum on this run, but it's all going to be stopped. It looks like Marvin Rodas on the near side of the field.
Yeah, and we've seen that pretty much all day. The chances that Anderson does have, I think they're putting together some great runs, some great passes, but it just feels like North Georgia's always there and always where it needs to be, to kind of make the play, save the day.
Get 10 minutes left to go in the game. So there's going to be a free kick from Anderson. It's going to be tried and headed in, but eventually it's just going to get kicked out. Aram Laura is there, but Laura goes down on the play, and Vitelli tries an attempt on the goal, but Funes was right there in front of him, and that one's going to go just left of the goal.
Yeah, great play by the goalkeeper there. One-on-one as a goalkeeper is worst case scenario in most situations, and he made his body big. He took up as much space as he possibly could and made the save.
So creep under 10 minutes to go. Looks like we're going to have a sub coming in for North Georgia. Lay kicks this one deep. This one's going to go from goalkeeper to goalkeeper. Funes going to kick this one deep.
Yeah, I expect to see, kind of a lot of that here coming up at the end. One side wants to keep it as far away from their end as possible and just kind of eat the clock up, take up as much time as possible. And then on the other side, they're trying to score as fast as possible. So they're trying to get it into the box, create as many opportunities as they have because they have to overcome a 2-goal deficit. I think we're going to see a lot of back and forth. I don't know if there's going to be much midfield play by either side coming up.
Well, you got to be on another kick for North Georgia. It's going to be headed by one of the Anderson players. And Elon Munoz is going to be battling it out with Ian Wyndham. Lay going to get the ball and secure it down on the ground inside the box. North Georgia putting another stop to Anderson. High kick by Lay. It's going to go right towards Alex Tapia, to where it's going to go to Daniel Romero. Romero dancing with that ball on the sideline. It's going to be taken by an Anderson player. Rodas going to kick this one to midfield. And now Lucas Goldberg. This one's going to be kicked back into Anderson territory, headed to where now Ian Wyndham passes it to Alejandro de Viena. Now the ball moving closer and deeper into Anderson territory. And there's going to be a shove on the ground. It looks like
they're going to let him play.
Looks like that might have been Vitelli possibly in the backfield, or Garnett. And that ball is going to sail way out of bounds.
Yeah, Michael Walsh there. Really at this point in the game, for North Georgia, it's just all about, taking some time off the clock. So, great play coming in, sliding tackle, gets it out of bounds. I think we're going to have a clock stoppage here.
There's going to be a yellow card issued.
Yeah, I believe that was a handball, potentially. Looks like that goes to Max Garnett. But, yeah, another dangerous spot for free kick.
Number 29, Max Garnett, North Georgia.
And this is where that second goal becomes so huge because, a 1-0 lead right here, you're not feeling too comfortable with the free kick from this spot. But, 6 minutes left, you're still going to, if you allowed a goal here, you'd still have to, show up and play some solid defense. But, you feel a little bit better about this free kick spot with 2 goals.
And Lay's going to come up with the block, and it's going to go into the back of the net, and Anderson gets their first goal of the night, cut North Georgia's lead down to 1 with 6 minutes to go in the second half.
Yeah, it felt like one of those was on the horizon. It felt like we've been building up. They keep getting free kicks in those kind of locations, whether it be right outside the box on the right or left side or, right down the middle. So it kind of felt like we were building up to that moment. And then Anderson finally has one go. Great original save by Hazel Lay, however. Just kind of got the rebound, and Anderson cleaned it up and got on the board.
Looks like Santiago Cano has come back in the game for North Georgia. A good sign to see. Ian Wyndham can pass this ball to Marvin Rodas, where Hazel Lay is going to be met by a couple defenders, and that one's going to that ball nearly nailed a photographer along the fence line there. There's 2 balls in play there for a quick second.
Got that taken care of, thankfully.
And that one's going to be nearly headed in, and there's going to be some contact inside the box.
Going to be a goal kick for North Georgia.
Juan Jose Alvarez. So we reach 5 minutes left to go in the game. North Georgia leading Anderson 2-1.
Stepping on for North Georgia, number 10, Santiago Cano.
Lay's going to kick this one deep. Going to be headed and kicked by Alejandro de Viena.
Great job to pin him deep there on the throw-in.
Funes with the kick.
Looks like it came off his foot a little bit.
Santiago Cano right there battling with Ivan Cordona. Still battling on the sideline. Cano is going to get tripped up by Cardona there. Looks like it's going to be a
It's going to be a free kick there. A good opportunity for the Nighthawks to add some insurance here. They the 2-0 deficit or 2-0 lead is not there anymore. So it's a good opportunity to both take a little time off the clock and maybe add and put the dagger into the Trojans here.
There's going to be a stoppage of time. And we got subs coming in for North Georgia. Well, it looks like Ian Wyndham's going to be coming off the field. And it looks like Will Bentley's coming back in the game for North Georgia.
Stepping on for North Georgia, number 9, Will Bentley.
It's going to be thrown in by North Georgia, but it's going to go immediately back out of bounds. And that throw-in looks like it bounced off of Bentley's foot, and it's going to be back in the possession of Anderson. This one's going to be a deep kick to midfield. Hazeley right there in the backfield. And it looks like there might have been some contact with an Anderson player.
Yeah, it looks like Max Garnett went down, headed it back to Lay so he could pick it up. And looks like he kind of got run into in the back there.
We're going under 3 minutes. Clock continuing to wind down. 2:45 left on the clock. North Georgia leading 2-1 over Anderson in this out of conference matchup. This one's going to be kicked deep by Lay.
Great job by Walsh and Garnett winning that ball there in the air.
Hazeley is going to wrap that ball up. 2 minutes to go in the matchup. He's going to kick this one deep into Anderson territory, or it's just going to land up in the hands of the goalkeeper. Headed by a couple Nighthawks. This one's going to be kicked high into the air.
Yeah, don't be surprised if here in these late moments, if you see the goalkeeper, come out of the net for Anderson, adding a man advantage. He's got a lot of height, so if there's a free kick or it's coming down to the last 10 seconds, don't be surprised if you see him run out there.
1 minute remaining in this matchup between North Georgia and Anderson University.
That's a goal.
And that will be in for North Georgia, and that's their third goal of the game, as they go up 3-1 over Anderson University with 48 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, it looks like the Anderson thought that North Georgia was just going to try to run the clock out in that corner. And then I don't see the number 12.
Looks like it was Aram Laura, and we've called on him a couple of times in today's game.
Yeah, it looks like they thought Laura was going to hang out in that corner, take some time off the clock, and he made one move past the defender and had a free shot on the goal. Perfectly placed right there in that upper kind of right corner.
Georgia 3, Anderson 1.
Big statement after Anderson scoring their first goal of the game. North Georgia extending their lead to 2 once again. 43 seconds left to go in this game.
Yeah, I mean, there's been crazier things that happened, but that one felt like kind of, the dagger. That kind of felt like it kind of ended all the chances for Anderson there. And just an absolute clutch play from Laura there.
This will be a deep kick inside the box in North Georgia territory. Saypool Data looking to make some magic happen for Anderson.
9, 8, 7, 6.
This one's going to be kicked out of bounds. And it looks like the game will end here. North Georgia pulling off the win today. 3-1 over Anderson University, as North Georgia will go back to 500 with a 3-3 record. Anderson Memorial goes to a 1-2 record. Anderson University 1-2 will be facing off against Lincoln Memorial this Saturday, and North Georgia will be starting its Peach Belt slate as they will be taking on Georgia Southwestern this Saturday down there in Americus, Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia Southwestern, an up-and-coming program. They made a run to the tournament championship last year, so that should be a good matchup. But I mean, this win right here is so big for this team. 3 out of the last 4. Like I said, just the way that they have responded after moving to 0-2. Now they're 3-3, and they played some stiff competition. Their lone loss came to Young Harris, who pretty much always has a really solid men's soccer program. Taking down Anderson, like we said, in Anderson's opening game, they beat number 3, Barry. So that's, I think this is a big win. You can see them now come celebrate with the fans, appreciate them for coming out. But absolutely big win for Anel and this program.
Big win for North Georgia indeed, as they're going to start their Peach Belt Conference slate of matches starting this weekend in Georgia Southwestern. This weekend for Devin Kupka and TJ Campbell. Your final score here from Dahlonega, North Georgia 3-1 victors over Anderson University. The next broadcast on the Nighthawk Sports Network will come next Wednesday against USC Aiken as North Georgia continues their Peach Belt Conference stretch. Once again, for Devin Kupka, TJ Campbell, have a great night, everybody. Here from Dahlonega, final score, North Georgia wins 3-1.